Okay, so basically, I just ask you. I mean, now I film you, and you said uh, one of the producer from Elephant Man. Can
No,
you
he
say
he
something
died.
about that? He died. Can you
You
say a
can
bit
Google
more?
Stuart Cornfeld. He was a
Be-
friend of mine. He's a very close friend.
yeah.
He died. He died over the summer. He had a good example. Stuart had he had developed cancer, and he was living out in L.A. And he was a very big producer. He was out in L.A. and he moved to New York because they broke from DreamWorks. He was partners with Ben Stiller's and Red Hour. They broke from DreamWorks, and he moved to New York when they moved their studio and production stuff here to New York City. But he was in New York until, well, he passed away a few months ago. So, but he had excuse me, that's my mother died from lung cancer. He had he got cancer, and he went into ocular cancer. Second friend of mine who's passed from ocular cancer that metastasized out. It metastasized into his liver, but what I'm saying is that Stewart, yeah, he is like, you have to be very careful about anything that was said about Stewart because of association. In Hollywood, it's a death sentence if you are associated with the wrong people in any way whatsoever. I mean, it's just crazy. But with me, I have nothing to do with Hollywood. I mean, nothing whatsoever. I mean, he just happened to be a friend of mine. We never discussed Hollywood other than that because I never went to any of his parties or anything. I was not in that circle whatsoever. He was just kind of a creative mentor for me. He was always the guy who said, "Don't listen to anyone, Todd. You're doing the right thing."
Well, you make a living.
Stuart.
You make a living from it.
I'm sorry?
I mean, you make a living from it. You make a living from it.
No, I don't make a living from it. I've never sold a photograph in my life.
Yeah, but
what?
But how do you then live? How do you then live? I mean,
it's amazing. I'm always amazed. No, I'll take this wrong. I'm always amazed that people always think there's a congruence between the way one pays their bills and what they do. What I do is I am a photographer. That has nothing to do with the way that I support myself. I mean, that's I mean, I couldn't be a photographer if I wanted to support myself. But how could I shoot street and support myself on it? What the fuck? I mean, no, I'm not directing this towards you. I'm just saying the idea of, it's kind of like I always say, probably the greatest tennis player who ever lived has never stepped in a professional court because he's an accountant. And if you ran up to him on the court and you're like, you're a fantastic tennis player. Are you going to go to Wimbledon? He's like, no, I'm an accountant. But you're a great tennis player. But I'm an accountant to pay my bills. But
maybe I'm a bad accountant. Maybe I'm a bad accountant. But
no, what I'm saying is it's different once again.
I know.
I can go ahead. I don't have kids. I don't have responsibility to anybody other than myself. My mother's passed. My father can take care of himself and now has a new girlfriend.
Yeah,
it's very easy for me to say my photography I won't mix with money because there's no need to, because I can always make enough money doing other things that I can concentrate on my photography. And if I have to concentrate on my photography to make money, then why am I even going to do it? Because then I might as well just get a job. That's my opinion. But that's because I'm a brat. And so no, I've never sold a photograph. That's why I told you, if you want me to snap a photo, you can have it for free. I've never sold a photograph in my life.
Yeah. So you said you want to come up. When you want to come visit here?
Today, if you're thinking today, I can't today. But I'm pretty flex. The only thing that's coming up is I'm flying down to see my father. I'm trying to get a ticket right now, but that won't be for another 2 weeks before I fly down.
Yeah. So come between maybe.
So whatever is good for you. I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
And don't worry, I also have no ego. If you don't like the photos or
I love all your
I don't
photographs.
Give a shit. What I'm saying is that I just like taking snaps. So
I mean,
they're
fantastic.
Let you use the camera. You can take your own photos.
No, they are fantastic. Your photos are fantastic.
I'm sorry.
Your photos are fantastic. I love your photographs.
Well, thank you. I think that is a huge compliment because it's coming from you. I'm not saying this is yank and
No.
chain, but I like your work. So that's like with Stuart. That's why Stuart was a mentor to me because I really loved his work.
Yeah.
And because of that, I always valued his opinion, even though he knew that I'm not what you call a professional photographer. That's the whole point for me, at least.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, whenever you want. But today's going to be a tough day.
Yeah, I know. I fully understand.
But you know,
today it's gonna be very warm. Do
yeah,
people go already on the
supposed to be like
beach?
90 today.
Can one go already on the beach?
It's very weird. You were out a lot during COVID. It's hard to get like back in the groove of having like tons of people around you.
I know.
I mean, I've almost been run over a number of times because I'm not used to walking into the street with so much traffic. But yeah, it's going to be hot today. There's going to be tons of people out today. And I've got to go ahead. I've got to run down to Chinatown.
And are people already like
find an airline
on
ticket
the beach?
Then. So
people are already on the beach.
Whatever
no?
day works best for you. I mean, just let me know. And my schedule's pretty flex.
Yeah. So not the 26th because I have a court date, but maybe I need to find out when on the 26th. But then maybe the 25th. When is that?
Yeah,
the 25th.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, then also because my schedule's flex, you can always give me a call and say, "Hey, you free?"
Yeah.
I'll probably go. Where am I? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I did now. That's just what I did now. And today's the 22nd. So tomorrow is Sunday. Today's only Saturday. My God.
Yeah. Today's Shabbos.
Yeah. Wow. And
so,
it's only May.
So yeah, as I say, let me know, and I'm pretty flex. So,
did they already open the beach officially? Is the beach open? Because
sorry?
Is the beach already open?
I don't know. I usually go to the beach in the wintertime. Actually, I hang out at Brighton Beach, but that's because I hang out with Russian guys out at Brighton Beach. I've been out to Brighton Beach in the last year probably 50 times. I've never once swam in the water. I've walked in the water, but
no, I mean.
The beaches are not the official beaches. That's not till Memorial Day, but but in Brighton Beach and places like that, you can go swimming.
I for sure think people do that now because after all, I do a little bit of internet.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, okay. So
no, I couldn't hear you. You broke up.
Like yesterday, I met also when I went home. I mean, I was thinking, the entire world is gonna be in the park.
I can't hit once. Let me make sure it's not my phone. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I mean, yesterday I was thinking the entire world is going to be in Central Park dancing, but then there were very few people. I mean, I could dance a little bit. Maybe I came too late, but there's always this kind of like, dance. But where it was really wild? What was really wild is actually Washington Square Park is really wild.
Yeah, Washington Square Park is, I'm getting older. It's hard for me to handle the NYU. You can't imagine the number of fights I've got to in Washington Square Park.
I mean, that's the problem.
With NYU students tell me, you're not allowed to take photographs. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's exactly. Yesterday, I was just standing there, and then comes like a group of these kind of people. They say they are teenagers, but they are not teenagers. They're just like whatever they are, and a bunch of them. And I just stand there, and on my bike, I stand there, and I just look. And then they're just coming too close for whatever reason. So I just say hello. And there are then three women. They look at me or so. And then comes a guy. I mean, I haven't say like, get the fuck out of here. They're teenagers.
Oh, I've had that happen to me so many times. And you know what?
They're teenagers. But so I'm young and I smash. But that was even the police around. And they say, I smack your head. Really aggressive asshole.
Oh yeah.
They are so fucking aggressive.
It's like a little pack of dogs, each one individually.
Yeah.
Forget about it. As a group, but what's kind of funny about it as a group? I've had big guys come up with me, a whole bunch of skateboards, tell me I gotta get. One time, matter of fact, I bumped into someone's bike, and it was at night. There were a whole group of them. And he goes, you bumped into my bike. And I go, oh, sorry about that, man. And he goes, and he said something about you. Well, maybe I'll do something. I'm like, okay, go ahead. And that was it. And you know what? I laughed a little bit, and then he laughed, and it diffuses it. But these, you know what?
I mean, the same thing was with me.
I said, you know how dangerous people really are?
Yeah.
You know what my brother used to do? He didn't warn me. He just clocked me. That's how we fought. He never said, I'm about to hit you, because he knew I would hit him the second he said that. So he just haul off and clock me. That's how we fight. Anyone who gives you a warning that they're about to hit you, in my opinion, may hit you, but they're bullshit. That's the scary thing about people. That's the scary thing about people who don't give you warnings. Those are the people who scare people.
So he gave me this kind of, he kind of walked me out, and I just go like slowly, okay, and I drive slowly on. I didn't do anything, but it's so obnoxious, so like disgusting, these people. And then I forget it, like 2 streets down from there, I forget it. And I was like, at least at 1 o'clock I was at home, But anyway, it's kind of, I to a certain degree, it's very funny. You have now everywhere a zoo, but I have to say that it is almost more orderly here, weirdly enough, in Harlem. It is more orderly than around NYU. Is very funny. Of
course.
Those white people are much more entitled and fucked up.
This is of course. You know why? Because these are a bunch of kids who don't have most people are busy getting about their lives. They don't have time to be full-time skateboarders because, or full-time students or what. You know what? I've never had any problem with people who disagree with me politically based on anything when we're just out and about talking. And I've Palestinians, blacks, Jews, whatever. It's only when you get in a group and you're like, you have this group oblivious that I'll give you an example. Okay.
Yeah.
This guy Jade. Okay. He hangs out at a punk bar where I hang out, which I used to hang out at that punk bar years ago after CBGB closed. A bar opened up called Clockwork. And when it first opened up, that was back in 2003, if I remember correctly. I used to go there, and then it became nothing wrong with it. It became a very fashionable punk bar. And I was getting older and started moving on. But anyways, during COVID, they reopened kind of illegally, and I used to hang out with, good example, I used to hang out with these detectives who would sit there and drink when it was illegal, and I'd smoke dope. This before, it doesn't matter. No one cares. But there's this guy, Jade, okay? And he just posted something about the IDF being, murders, whatever. That's fine. That's politically, we can discuss that. And I may agree, I may disagree, whatever. The way he posted it was some stupid retweet of some stupid meme or whatever you call it. So I sent him a little text because I know him from the bar, and I said to him, I go, this is not for public. I'm not into the group thing here where, I put something up online and press all my friends or the members of my group. And I said to him, I go, why is it that every punk revolutionary that I know has a big gap in their Instagram page between the middle of March and the end of May? Did you just go home and stay home when the government told you, and when it was time to go out and protest, the other government say go out and protest, and you do it? And and I said to him, this is what I put in the text, I said, you're bullshit. And I go, some people go out when rockets are flying, rightly or wrongly, but you hit at home. And I said, welcome to New York. You want to talk about it? Fuck off. And then I put a smiley face. So we'll see what he says. He's bigger than me. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
because he stayed home during COVID, and then he's put. I'm not talking about the politics of what's going on in the Middle East, even though I think that Hamas is no different than the most extreme fundamentalists here in the United States.
They are really terrible.
They are scum. They want to subjugate women. They are fucking religious Nazis, just like the Orthodox settlers are religious fucking Nazis. They're all the same to me. Most people are, 90% people have nothing to do with these assholes. But those who have no skin in the game, like the punks in Washington Square Park, identify because you know what? They live on fucking trust funds. They go to NYU. They hit it home during COVID. Give me a break. It has nothing to do with being tough. It's not a matter of being tough. It's a matter of a lot of people had to go out and live their life because they had kids to support, they had jobs they had to go to, or they'd be fired. They're kids. They're just kids, you know?
I know they are kids and they are annoying, and then also obviously how good it feels to just have people around, not to sit at home and still, I mean, how to be productive. I always need to make art.
How do people, I'm sorry, Dean,
I mean, I always, in my case, it's always like I have this compassion and compellion. I mean, this drive, this urge.
For them. I think they're probably good people. I'm not saying they're evil people, but they're kids. They're punks. That's the thing. That's what scares me, is that people, you know what's the scary thing about fascist movement is it usually attracts good people. That's the scary thing about it.
Yeah.
That's what scares me. If it was only the evil people who march to these banners, then I'd be like, well, what do you expect? But it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing about it. Whatever, the banality of evil.
Did you see this guy? It's kind of a Wonder Woman or so. There was like a brawl. It's very funny. I mean, it disrupted. I think there's all these like people from the film school that arrive, and maybe they come in this kind of uniform, and then they film. They act like paparazzis. They kind of go onto somebody who maybe they know the person or not, and then it's kind of like a fucking shit show. But they all seem to come in a team, as if it's for a film, where you suddenly.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's, the truth is, I mean, when you're, I mean. A lot of this also, I mean, this group dynamic has really been magnified because every one of those kids was at home during COVID. Because I was out in Washington Square Park every fucking night during COVID.
Yeah.
Because, and the guys who were out were junkies, crackheads, homeless guys, and they were going fucking nuts because they couldn't get any money anywhere. No one was out to beg and get money from, especially those kids. They couldn't get, none of these kids. I mean, none of these people were out there. And none of them were in Washington Square Park. I slept in Washington Square Park one night because I just didn't feel like going home. There was no one there except for the junkies. I put my jacket I put my camera underneath my jacket, and I just went to sleep on the park bench. There was absolutely no one there. So these, a lot of this is, it's like Jay, the one who I sent the text to.
Yeah.
Why I sent that to him was because he's bashing things he knows nothing about. He may be right. I'm not saying he's not right. But he knows nothing about what he's talking about. Absolutely nothing. And why does he know nothing about? Not because he hasn't been there or isn't familiar with the situation. Because he has none of those experiences where you have to do something you don't want to do. And should you do it? Shouldn't you do it? What's the risk? Am I taking a risk? Are there absolute rights or wrongs? Does it matter? This is my family. This isn't my family. I don't know this person, but I'm going to fucking kill him because he's trying to kill my family. And he may be right, but I'm still going to kill him because he's trying to kill my. These are things they have no concept of. Simply because, thankfully, they've never been put in that situation where they have to have a concept of it. And that's not a bad thing. But that's just my opinion. Some people may say the same thing about. Who knows? I don't care.
Were you sent to any of those crazy wars? Like, as...
Well, I was in Lebanon. I was in Lebanon in 85. I was living on the border in 85 when they were creating the security zone. And, I had a lot of friends in the IDF. And, I lived in Israel when I was younger. And,
so you do know
I mean, but the thing is that the most, what the truth is, it's real.
But Lebanon was always problematic there, no?
Oh my God, what a nightmare that was. Because it was actually interesting because I was there when the South Lebanese Army was being formed. I was living on the border when the South SLA was being formed. And the SLA pulled into the security zone, firmed up, and they were, the SLA had really come into the South Lebanese Army, really was created at that time. And then in 2000, I was traveling with a girlfriend, Carol. She's Chinese American. Funny thing is that everyone talks about how racist this country is. Systemically, there is a lot of it. But my God, when we were in the Middle East, every guy was screaming, Japanese. She's not Japanese, she's Chinese. And the thing, it was unbelievable trying to keep guys away from her because she was an attractive Asian woman, like when we were in Cairo and stuff like that. But we were in. She came off the Columbia School of Journalism. She went to University of Texas on a scholarship because she came from a family that Chinese immigrant family. And then she went to Columbia School of Journalism. She had a double scholarship in international affairs and the journalism school, but she decided not to do the IR part. But she was a journalist for years and years and years. But we were in they call it Sfat. Have you been to Israel before?
Yeah. Tel Aviv.
Yeah, so we were in Sfat, and this was in 2000, and the SLA had just been routed. And they were all in Sfat. They had taken all the hotel rooms. They grabbed their families and everything they could, and they left. All of Sfat every hotel was filled with SLA fighters who had just been thrown out of Lebanon, and their families, and they were also sleeping in the squares because they hadn't made arrangements for them. And at that time, I remember with Carol, I was waving at a Hamas guy because at that time they had just gone ahead and seized the area the SLA had been thrown out of, and you could actually see them, and especially up near Beer Shepherd Farms and all those areas up there, and so I was waving. But what I'm saying is that even these Hamas guys, not Hamas, excuse me, why am I saying Hamas? What do you call it? Hezbollah guys. It makes no difference to me. Hezbollah's Hamas is, that's a crazy thing about Hamas is Sunni, Hezbollah is Shia, and it makes no difference. They're, to me, I don't even think of difference in terms. Hamas, Hezbollah, it's all the same shit to me. But that's me, because I'm not a member of either of those groups. I'm sure if I was a member, there would be a huge difference. To me, it's all shit. But not the people, but the philosophy. So, Shia, Hezbollah, Sunni, Hamas, what fucking difference does it make? And the same thing with I put in that group all the extreme religious parties in Israel. Same fucking shit. It's all the same mentality.
I know.
It's all the same crap. Religious fucking fanatics.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all it is. Same shit.
Yeah,
but anyways,
today it's going to be in the 90s today.
I'm sorry?
They say it's going to go up to the 90s today, to the 90s. Isn't that crazy? So hot already in the middle of May. I mean, it's...
Well, that's good. You know why? Because there won't be... protesters don't like to march when it's raining, when it's cold, when it's too hot. And they like to have it in. I'm making a joke here.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just being an asshole. Middle-aged Jewish guy. No, it's supposed to be hot. It's supposed to be like 90 today. But see, I don't mind hot weather. I don't mind cold weather.
No, I mean, I love it extremes too,
Well, anyway. So do I. The only thing I don't like is humidity, because my nose has been broken a number of times, and I can't breathe with humidity. And I also,
that is why it's so great, so warm. It's so great because the humidity is not yet back. So when can we expect the humidity in July or August?
When you least expect it.
Yeah, when you least expect it, exactly.
Like when you're wearing a white tuxedo, that's when the humidity comes back.
Okay, that is all not really happening to me, But anyway, when is...
Yeah, so whenever you want to, give me a call.
Yeah, okay,
as I say,
I do that.
You can text, if you call and I don't pick up, just leave a message, I'll get back.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay, we'll try not to get too sweaty today.
Exactly.
And forget everything I said politically.
No, don't worry about it. This is fantastic what you said. You ever have the best, because I could never even say that, remember? I could never even say that. I still
You could never say what?
yeah, I mean, what you said, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, I agree with everything you say, you know, but I mean, I have to be so careful.
Well, that's a shame because I like arguing. I hope that you would disagree with everything I said.
No, unfortunately, I agree with everything, and that's a form of disagreement too, because you know what I
I
mean.
know.
You know, I mean, they simplified around me more likely than you know, so hence, you know where I go. But today I go to Blick. You know, do you know when Blick opens? I think it opens at
I'm not
11,
really sure. I
most
don't
likely
know.
12,
It's
because they like to sleep long. But I could just Google it myself. Anyway, so thank you so much. I
no
love you
problem,
as
no problem. And
usually.
when I sent you that photo yesterday, I looked at
Yeah,
the
I
woman you were
mean,
with, and it's a very dark. I hope she didn't. It's not necessarily a flattering image of her. I hope
no,
she
I mean, it's
understood
just,
that.
I
I mean, the
just
way I
said
was
so,
shooting at the angle. Like, I mean,
so
I don't remember how I
great,
shot it,
so great.
but
She looks so
But when I
great.
shot it,
Yeah.
after when I sent it to you guys, I was usually, excuse me for being chauvinistic, but when it comes to women,
No.
I photograph women differently than men, or else I'm going to get slapped. But I hope she
Yeah.
didn't mind the image I
No,
took.
no, no, no. She didn't realize she took one, you know. But
Oh, okay,
anyway,
good.
yeah. Yeah,
That's
you're
good.
so professional. I mean, it's so good when I can't believe it, okay?
I'm sorry.
Perfect. So you're so good, you're so professional, you're so amazing. You
Don't
are
ever call me a
fantastic.
professor. Please
I
don't
mean,
ever. I'm just joking.
yeah, exactly. Professional professor. Okay, Mr. Dot
Anyways, I'll let you
Katz.
do your stuff, and yeah, give me a call
Yeah.
whenever you want, and we'll
Should
figure
I
it out
call
from there.
you?
Sounds good?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, perfect. I love you. Bye.
Okay.